all good. It's all coming together. This is going to be a very expensive experiment. I'm really winging a lot of this. That's the part of it. What do you think of the skipping? This set is not ready yet. Yada dee Now, if I just had some jokes, I'm going to probably do this part first. And then this. Then I have to probably go back to this.
Pretty much the best person on all the roasts. He's always the funniest, always the most underrated. And I'm glad to see him live.
Nothing. Nothing.
Whatever you do, don't suck.
Okay.
Strap them on. Ready for some funniness.
Okay. Okay, bye.
But not on camera.
Okay.
I don't know hugging on camera. This is professional back here. Sorry you had to see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Greg Giraldo! Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thanks a lot. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thanks. I better not suck. New York City, this is great, man. I love living here and doing shows here. And the characters that we see in this city every single day. I was in a subway the other day, and there were these homeless guys singing a cappella. Happy as They're homeless, singing a cappella, shaking a cup. I thought, how did these guys even meet? You know, it's hard enough to form a band when you have a house and a phone and all that kind of How do you bump into other a cappella enthusiasts when you're out there on the homeless trail? You think you're just sitting around the shelter one day? I need some crack. Me too. Me three. Whoa. People talk to each other in this city in a way that is just not normal. I was stopped at a light the other day. These two guys are unloading a truck. One guy looks at the other guy and goes, Hakuna Matata, motherfucker, from the Lion King. Hakuna Matata, motherfucker. What could have possibly preceded that part of the conversation? What's your favorite Disney cartoon song debate ends up with Hakuna Matata and mother in the same sentence? That must have just built all day long. You know, nah, that song sucks, man. I like the other one for that. They're under the sea, under the sea. Nah, man, Hakuna Matata. Don't be a pussy, all right? It's under the sea, under the sea. Hakuna Matata, mother. I was in a subway the other day. This guy screams across the tracks. He goes, yo, Monica! Yo, Monica! Yo, you got AIDS, yo! And I thought, wow, that's how they tell you? That Michael Moore is right. We have the worst healthcare system. Up in Canada, they call you up probably, right? Maybe an email or something. They don't just hire a Puerto Rican kid to scream across the tracks. What kind of way is that to get health news? Yo, Greg, your cholesterol's high, son. Thank you, Hector. Thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule of barbecuing on the shoulder of the Cross Bronx Expressway and bringing me up to speed on my health status. You have the Puerto Rican Day Parade here in New York every summer. That is a great parade, the Puerto Rican Day Parade. But you never hear the good things. All you hear is the negative things. But what about the positive, empowering messages, particularly to women that come from that parade? You know? Like you're never too fat to wear a tube top. I think that's a message that has to be heard. Because, you know, you always hear that girls feel bad about their bodies because they have to compare themselves to these anorexic actresses and everything. But there seem to be girls out there in that parade that don't, you know, they seem immune to that. I don't know. They're like, my looks good. My looks good, you know. And even if they're 300 pounds, they don't have to rule out the denim micro mini skirt. They hop on the back of their boyfriend's ninja motorcycle with their ass all hoisted up in the air. Thong is sticking out. It's not even one thong. It's like three thongs all knotted together. Yeah, it's an amazing amazing city. People just, it's so, people are so crazy and resilient. Plane crashes here in the Hudson River. Plane crashes in the Hudson. In the rest of the country, this is like a heroic deed, you know? Here in New York, like, what the something, there's traffic, some dude. Couldn't he have crashed in Connecticut or some He's got a... Even after 9/11, we did shows almost right away. We started doing shows really quickly in the clubs around the city. In some parts of the city, there wasn't even electricity in some parts of the city. Yet the subway didn't even go there. But we started doing shows in these clubs because people seemed to want to come out. They seemed to want to laugh. And I couldn't believe it. You know, it was right after 9/11, and there were already people in the audiences, bachelorette parties. And I thought, holy you know, I never thought that I would be proud to see a pack of drunken Jersey girls with condoms on their heads. I thought, they are never going to change the American way of life. They just knocked down the World Trade Center, but they couldn't stop this gaggle of squawking from going on their penis-related paraphernalia shopping spree and buying their straws and condom hats and their "a hard man is good to find" T-shirts and you know and piling into that limo. We're going, Gina. It's your day. It's your special day. We are going in the city. We are going in the city. It's your special day. I don't care what those Mexicans did. We are going into the city. Hear a lot about energy policy. We need to cut our dependence on foreign oil. Cut our dependence on foreign oil. How do you think we're going to do that? Drive small cars? You think we're going to drive small cars in America? Of course not. We can't. We can't do it. We'll never drive small cars. We can't do it because we have big, fat kids. Big, fat, waddling weebles. Have you been to Disney World in the last 10 years and seen these bags of wheezing and waddling? All red-faced and sweaty. You're not supposed to be winded when you're 9 and you're on flat ground. I don't care how excited you are to get to the snow cone. You shouldn't be like, these little fat they act like they're working through the desert, you know, just, oh, is that a mirage? Is that I really want cotton candy. Is that a vendor of cotton candy? A purveyor? What kind of child says vendor? Is that a purveyor of fine, sugary treats? One hopes that is a vendor and not a figment of my 8-year-old imagination. These fat children, God bless them, holy They don't even walk anymore, these kids. You see these little fat kids in parks, they don't even walk. They just come gliding by on those Healy wheels. Fat kids on wheels, is that a good idea, do you think? Kids don't burn any calories in a modern world. Now we put wheels on them, what the Why don't we just bolt the wheels directly into their spines? This way they don't even have to sit up. They can lay flat on their back and we can roll them around from snack to snack. All they do is eat and snack and fatten up by the second. And you can't fight it. You can't fight it. People blame the parents, right? It's the parents' fault. I used to blame parents for that kind of until I became a parent. And now I blame someone else. Because you can't battle the American junk food industry. They have cartoons and movies and all kinds of that are sponsored by their double sugar smacked crack pops or whatever the they sell for these kids. You think once a kid tastes one of these things, you're going to get them to eat celery sticks after that? Are you kidding? They just watched a movie where this candy treat makes robots fly. You think you're going to get them on the celery sticks? Come on, eat the celery. It's good. It's got fiber in it. Yeah, I know those make people fly, but these will keep you from getting polyps in your 60s and your rectum. Come on. Can't you be a little more forward-thinking, you 8-year-old? Grow up a little. Eat these carrots. There's beta carrot. It's good for your eyes. You don't want to get short-sighted later on. Believe me, it's really a problem. You got a better chance getting a crackhead to switch to eggnog at that point. This whole generation of kids is up. I don't know what we've done to them. Every one of them's got breathing disorders and allergies to everything and they're all on pills. And when I was a kid, if you had asthma, people beat the out of you. Because it was unusual. Nobody had it, so people picked on you. Now, every kid's got some sort of apparatus and, helmets and pills and all kinds of They pick on the kid that doesn't. Hey, check out the nose breather. Ha, ha, ha. Why don't you walk up some stairs? Peanut allergies. When did the peanut become the most toxic substance known to man. Have you tried going anywhere near a school with peanut butter? Holy they look at you like you slathered it on your and went skipping across. Which one are you hot little mother? Want some peanut butter? I got jelly. You just have to dig for it a little. Come on, hey, where you going? What are you, allergic? Oh, Lord. I'm getting old, as we all are, I guess, but I'm feeling it lately. This business kills you as you get older. You don't see a lot of old people on television. We don't see them anymore. Unless they're in some bladder control commercials, that's like our vision of the future. You're either dying in some life alert thing or just worried about your bladder. If I could only stop pissing so much, I just piss. They're always like shuffling off somewhere. What a miserable future. You just don't see old people on TV. That's one of the reasons I think John McCain looked so creepy during the campaign. He's not that old, but we're just not used to seeing people like that on television. It looked weird. You had cool hip Obama, and then this angry little bridge trolls like, he's dragging his club foot around. He's a candidate of change. I'm going to change. I'm a maverick. The maverick. I'm going to change everything. What are you going to change, John? You're 105 years old. What was he going to change? Dinner at 4 o'clock for the whole country, maybe, A quick episode of Murder, She Wrote, and off to bed. He couldn't believe he was losing. He couldn't believe it. Did you see how unglued he almost came during the last debate? Holy he came this close to going, he's black! What the really? How am I losing? I'm a war hero. I'm losing to a 40-year-old Nigerian or some whatever the hell he is. His name rhymes with Osama. How the am I losing? I'm so furious. I want to throw my hands in the air, but I can't. This is as high as they go because I am a war hero. It's amazing the role that race played. Race was such a huge thing that election. Holy Hillary Clinton got in trouble during the campaign because she said that white people wouldn't support Barack Obama during a general election. White people wouldn't support Barack Obama. And that sounded like something a Democrat shouldn't say, so she started using code words for white people, which was 50 times worse. Because instead of saying white people, she started saying hard-working Americans. Hard-working Americans are not gonna support Barack Obama. You know what I mean? Hard-working Americans, the ones that don't run fast and don't have giant Am I putting too fine a point on this? I'm getting old. It's depressing as the president's a couple years older than me. Do you know how much of a loser that makes me feel like? Seriously. When you see people your age are accomplishing real he's out there trying to decide what to do about North Korea. I'm trying to decide whether to start dyeing my beard or not. I'm like, I don't know. What should I do? You know who's got to feel terrible about this election? Barack Obama's brother. He's got a half-brother who's like a homeless guy in Kenya. This guy's... Every politician has that up ass brother. Barack's got his brother. Bill Clinton had Roger Clinton. Jimmy Carter, of course, had Billy Carter. And Jeb Bush has George Bush. And that's a cute one. Getting divorced again. And, a lot of people... Yeah. A lot of people say, well, marriage, that's the problem. It's too much divorce, and it should be a sacred institution. It should be between a man and a woman. And, first of all, it's certainly not sacred. And second of all, if a man wants to marry another man, good luck with it. I mean, holy You don't choose what you are. You don't choose whether you're gay or not. You just are what you are. How can you discriminate against someone for being what they are? Like, I don't choose to be attracted to women. I don't choose it. I happen to be attracted to women. It sucks. It means every 10 years or so, I got to give all my away and start from scratch. I don't know what they are. Although there is a level of gayness that seems to be on purpose. At that point, it's probably okay to laugh at that. I mean, I think. I was on a plane the other day, and the flight attendant is a guy. Flight attendant walks up next to me with the cart, and he's like, "Snack, sir!" Holy that's got to be a choice, no? You could definitely scale that back a little teeny tiny bit. Snack! But then I realized maybe it's because you got to say that over and over in an airplane. If you had to say snacks over and over and over again, it'd make anyone sound pretty over the top. Because this guy just had to push the cart and say that 400 times. Snack, sir. Snack, snack. Snack, sir. Snacks. Look, I have snack, snack. Sir, for you a snack, miss. A snack, snack. Snack! Snack, 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 snacks. Snack for you, snack. Snack, 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 snack. Let me suck your sir, please. Please let me suck your please. Just a little bit, sir, please. No? Snack then? Like somebody, somebody. So, somebody asked me, if I would care. I have 3 sons, and somebody asked me if I would care if one of my sons was gay. How gay? I mean, if one of them turns out to be gay and wants to marry a dude, that should be his right, and I would support that. But, yeah, I would support that. But if I get on an airplane and my son walks up behind me going, "Snacks! Snack, Dad! Snacks!" We could dial that down a little tiny bit. That's all I'm saying. That's behavior, you know what I mean? If he wants to bring his new husband to Thanksgiving dinner, great. But if they start the turkey and, I might be like, all right. I'm kidding, of course, obviously. I wouldn't give a if one of my sons was gay, because I'd still have 2 normal ones. You know what I mean? 2 normal, decent sons with a shot of getting into heaven. So what do I give a I have 3 sons, and it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's also, it's rough sometimes. It's tough, and I was having this conversation with somebody. They go, "I know, because I have a dog, My dog's a lot like my kid." People with dogs say like that all the time. Yeah, my dog is like my kid. My dog is like my kid. And you got to play along and be like, "Hi." Is really, your dog is like your kid, really? How insulting is that? First of all, no one has a dog because they were too drunk to pull out. That's the first thing. And you try not to have a favorite when you have sons or kids. You can't have a favorite. You can't let them know if you do. And I don't. I treat my main son and the other 2 exactly the same way. I hope they never feel the need to be in the closet. That's the main thing, That's because everybody knows those guys that are just so in the closet and they won't come out. And it's not like I care. It's not like I care about people. It's just that it gets exhausting to have to play along with that charade all the time. I have this friend, Tommy. Every time I see him, he's like, "Boy, that Jessica Alba's a piece of ass, huh? Boy, you know what I'd do to her? Gargle her bag, probably, Tommy, if she had one, but otherwise probably something else." There's such a youth-oriented culture, It's like party when you're young, and then later you taper off and you just kind of miserably die and fade away, It should be the other way around. Like, I think the drinking age should be 40. I think you should start drinking at 40, because that's when you need it. You should save it up, build a foundation, and then get up when you need it. Because, when you're young, life is fine. Later on is when it gets difficult. Like, my life is so much harder now than it was when I was younger. I want to be up now all the time, But I can't, because now I'm an alcoholic, and I can't drink at all, because when I do, I end up snorting crystal meth off a switchblade at some after-hours bar, thinking, I'm going to be late for my flight in the morning. Except it's like 2 in the afternoon, and the flight was 6 weeks ago, and you're like, holy how did that happen? Save it up. Because, the things you do when you're young are not that bad anyway. Parties are fun anyway. It's the things later in life that suck. Parent-teacher conferences. That's not so easy. Parent-teacher conferences. Finding out your kid's a half a That'd be a lot easier with some fat rails and a few shots of Jack in you. Hey, what's that? He can't read? Well, maybe he's not a reader. Reading's not for everybody. Maybe he's just frustrated by the fact that reading seems like such a permanent form of communication. Maybe he's a visionary. Maybe he thinks that thought should be conveyed directly instead of being downloaded in this weird hieroglyphic transcription. Or sex, you always go out and get drunk to get laid, or save it up for later. Later on is when you need the chemicals, later. When you've been grudgingly pushing your semi-hard into the same woman for 25 years, that's when you need the beer goggles, I would think, at that point. Not when you're 18 or 19 and everything's more or less where it's supposed to be. It's later on. Let's face it, old people's disgusting. People always groan at that. It's disgusting to old people. Even if you aren't an old person, you're still another old person. Old people's disgusting. I know, because I used to work in a nursing home. And it's disgusting. And it's worse for women, because now with Viagra, guys are going to want to have sex forever. Can you imagine? Laying there, looking up at the hollowed out shell of the man you married, some broken down old dude with his sweaty, liver spotted head, just wheezing, and his big bushy eyebrows. He's looking down at you. His saggy man tits are flopping around with tufts of gray hair, smacking you in the face like two Santa Claus beards tickling your chin as he grinds his bony pelvis in you. Wouldn't that be a nice time for some ecstasy? Wouldn't that be a nice time to start rolling a little bit then, Well, this ain't bad at all. His 2-foot scrotum feels like the tongue of God on my thigh. Texting is a technology that I never would have anticipated catching on the way it did, huh? Holy I tried to fight it. Now I'm just like everybody else. I'm walking around like a crack-addled praying mantis 24 hours a day. Hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? Oh, nothing. Just sitting here having lunch with you. Oh, LOL. That's fine. What are you going to order, LOL? LOL, are we really as happy as a country? Are people really laughing out loud as often as they say that? Because that would be one psychotic nation if we're like, oh, hey, just having lunch. See you later. Not if I see you first. Texting is the other day I was making plans with my friend. We're texting each other back and forth for like 45 minutes. 45 minutes texting each other back and forth. Finally I thought, if there was only a way I could speak to this person, that would really move this along nicely. Holy why can't they invent some sort of voice sending machine to replace this primitive thumb typer contraption? The worst thing about texting is I get involved in too many different text exchanges with too many different people, and I end up sending the wrong text to the wrong person. That is embarrassing, right? I end up telling my mother to pick up an 8-ball because I'm going to out of her later. And she's like, dude, you can't get wood on blow. You're so full of Hey, how would you know, Mom? And it's only a psychological thing anyway, and it's when I do too much. And you know what? Maybe if you didn't discourage me at everything I ever did, I wouldn't become such a drug addict in the first place. Frown. Is anyone happily married? Is anyone actually happily married? It just doesn't seem... I know a couple of people that seem pretty happily married, but for the most part, like, especially if you watch television, like the image of marriage in America, holy you watch these sitcoms, it's just these whiny, sex-starved liars, and then the wives are like these bitchy It's like, please, can I have some sex? It's my birthday. Slow down, Tiger. What about the lawn? There are more whipped men on television than there were on the Amistad. It's a miserable existence. Did you see this guy that got hit by lightning? He got hit by lightning 7 times. He'd been hit by lightning 7 times and survived, and then he killed himself over a woman. God couldn't kill this guy. Send in the experts. There was a guy. There was how about that guy jumped off the Carnival cruise ship, jumped off the cruise ship, jumped off the balcony of a cruise ship into the ocean because he got into a fight with his wife about his bar tab. So he jumped into the ocean and drowned. That story sounds insane to anyone that's never been married. Because I swear to God, I'm not saying this for a fact. When I heard that story, I thought, yeah, I could see exactly how something like that. You're drunk. I'm on vacation. You're drunk. I'm on vacation. You're going to be hungover tomorrow. You're supposed to take ice sculpting classes on the Lido deck. If you don't shut the up, I'm going to jump off this goddamn balcony. You don't have the balls. Even Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, they seem to be pretty happy together. And even he has to play that role of the cliche, stereotyped, douchebaggy, loser husband. You know, "Ooh, I don't know. You'll have to ask Michelle." Holy shit. If I heard the number of times he would say during the campaign, like, well, she's the smart one. Really? That's really what he thinks, huh? Yeah. You know, she's the smart one in the family. I mean, I'm president of the United States of America, but I mean, she really is the one that... You know, they asked him during the campaign if he quit smoking. They said, what happened with your smoking? He said, well, I made a deal with Michelle that I could run for president if I quit smoking. So, you know how that played out. Really? Really? You really think that's how it went down? Really? He had to ask for permission. He had to make a little deal with Wifey Poo to run for president of the United States. Please, Michelle, please. I really, really want to be president. I know that doesn't sound like him. I'm doing a character. I'd turn him into like Bullwinkle or something. Oh, please. I really want to be president, Michelle. You're the smart one, please. What about the smoking, Barack? If that's true, how would he ever possibly negotiate with other world leaders? You'll halt the development of your nuclear program immediately. Really? Did your wife tell you to say that? Look at me, I'm smoking. I love to smoke. Oh, it's delicious to smoke. Should I just talk to Michelle directly, or do you have any balls at all left? You let me ask you. Do you want to... Should we talk nuclear or... I love smoking. You know what I tell my wife if she told me to quit smoking? I cut her tits off. That's what I would do. What do I know? So the economy has been... The economy's been terrible, of course, and... But you know what? There's some good things about the economy being so bad. People are keeping things in perspective for the first time ever. It's unbelievable. People saying things like, you know what? I hate my job, but in this economy, I'm happy just to have my job. A lot of people don't have their jobs, you know? I didn't get a raise this year, but in this economy, I'm happy just to have what I have. A lot of people don't have that. I have a car, but in this economy, I'm happy I still have my car. A lot of people don't even have cars in this economy. I got in the ass last night. But in this economy, I was happy just to get in the ass. A lot of people aren't getting in the ass out there anymore. It's good to get... They set all my on fire, too, which I thought was unnecessary. But in this economy, I was happy just to have to burn, you know? Just the fact that I was in the ass and had all my burned, in this economy, I was pretty happy to have that. A lot of my friends, have a lot of money, and they were calling me up, hey, did you lose a lot of money in the stock market? Did you get creamed? But I've had a lot of personal problems in the last few years, so I don't have any money at all. So they're calling me up. I'm like, no, actually, I have exactly the same amount of money now as I did when all this started. Turns out investing all my money in tequila and strippers wasn't such a bad policy after all, This is a very, very good time to be a up. That's all I'm saying. The expectations are pretty low. The Obama administration, they lifted the ban on embryonic stem cell research, which I wasn't even sure what embryonic stem cell research was. I just knew the Christian groups hated it, so I thought it had to be awesome. And I looked it up a little bit. It turns out that embryonic stem cells, they're stem cells that come from human embryos, and they can be used to cure diseases like Parkinson's and cancer. And these Christian groups were blocking the use all the time because they say, well, these stem cells come from a life. They represent life. Life is being destroyed. There's a miracle of life there. A miracle of life. It's just a couple of cells. It's just a human egg, a few cells that's been touched by just a teeny, tiny little bit of... It's just a little bit of... on there. That's all. You put just a little. It's just. It's nothing miraculous. It's. I have loads of it sitting around my apartment right now. It's just. It's just. That's all. It's not something special. It's not a miracle. It would be a miracle if the could make a baby all by itself. If I get back to my apartment and there's a baby crawling out of my wastebasket, all covered in tissues and I'm like, whoa! I better take little baby here to get baptized or something, because clearly these Christians are onto something. Maybe I better take little Spunky. I better take little man goo here down to, I wouldn't call him man goo, probably. That'd be a little too on the nose. Something else, you know. You know, these stem cells, I mean, they could use them to cure diseases like Parkinson's. Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's. I've done a lot of shows for this guy. He's awesome, you know. He is way cooler than any baby I've ever met, ever. Is that person sleeping? There's seriously a guy sleeping. Is that a guy? I can't even tell. Oh, there's a dude sleeping dead center. That is great. What's up, man? Are you all right? Are you all right? How's things? Did you get dragged in off the street? What the Why do you look angry? Are you all right? Are you okay? Why are you so tired? Doesn't strike you as a weird choice to fall asleep in the third row of my big TV taping? I mean, I'm not saying you and I are clearly sharing a comedic sensibility, but what the brought you in here in the first place then? I mean, I'm all for sleeping. I'm sure I'd be sleeping watching you grow weed or whatever you do for a living, but I'm just trying to wonder why you would opt for that. You know what I mean? At first, with the lighting, I couldn't tell if that was like, if you were sleeping or if you were just like, if you were, I swear to God, for a minute, I thought you had like a neck disorder and you were just, so I didn't want to highlight it. But that is, as if I'm not distracted enough, seeing a sleeping Rasta man in the audience, I'm like, holy I mean, I got a pretty good idea why you might be feeling a little groggy, but it is a little bit of a, you know, does take the wind out from under my sails a little bit. It's not like I'm at the can in Topeka. I'm sitting here in a theater in New York. Ideally, there wouldn't be a dude passed out in the front row. Oh, what the that's what we get paid for, to chimp around up here like monkeys and hope that no one passes out on us. Enjoy it out there. It's your big night. Why are you sleeping? Me don't know, me got up early. Me got up too early for this man. You know, the sense of humor is a little different, bro. Are you Jamaican or just American trying to be Jamaican? Jamaican? Doesn't matter. None of this is gonna. This is not normal. What's going on here? I'm wasting union time here. You know what? I was in Jamaica once, and I was on a glass bottom boat tour, and the guy, as his guide is taking us out there, he goes, "You're gonna see all kinds of coral, but remember, no breaking and no taking of coral." All right, I go, "There's tree coral, like the tree. Brain coral, like the brain. But no taking and no breaking of coral. Remember, there'll be no breaking and no taking of coral. You could swim around, you could look, you could take pictures. No breaking and no taking of coral." I said, "Excuse me, can we break or take any of the coral?" And he goes, "No, me just told you that." So it could be a communication issue. They're way too important to people in America. Holy it's like the new opiate of the masses. It just keeps people from realizing how they actually are, you know? Let's face it, if you couldn't get drunk and paint yourself orange and brown every Sunday, you might realize I live in Cleveland. How the did this happen? How did I end up in this frozen hole? I mean, you know, it's a nice place. I forgot that people from Cleveland will actually watch this. But I mean, it's cold and gray. You know, you look around at your family and your little house that you can't afford the payments on anymore, and your big bloated mess of a wife would waddle towards you with her front butt spilling out over her acid wash jeans, and you think, I'm gonna go shoot myself, my pregnant 12-year-old daughter, right in the mullet with a nail gun. You know, but you don't, because you got the big game to look forward to. Why do you think they held steroid hearings in Congress? Steroid hearings? Is that a congressional matter with all the problems in the world? We got to figure out why these baseball players are using. I mean, that's not a congressional matter. Shouldn't they have been figuring out why we sent the entire military into Iraq looking for weapons of mass destruction that turned out to be 2 donkeys in a box full of sparklers? Before we figure out why Barry Bonds' balls seem to be shrinking. Is that really a congressional concern? They want to take batting records away from some of these guys because they use illicit substances. Yeah, but, you know, they're entertainers. Who gives a It's not a congressional matter. You know what's also an illicit substance? Crack. Crack cocaine is an illicit substance. No one's taking gold records away from Whitney Houston. So, I think, this hero worship of the athletes, holy you know, Michael Phelps on every commercial, you got to see him. You know, he seems like a great guy and everything, you know, but he's kind of hard to look at with that tree trunk neck and that little peanut head of his underbite and those jug handle ears. Like, he's on every, I have to turn on the TV and he'll go, he's on every commercial. He was on something for a hotel chain. He's like, I love pillows. I love pillows. Good to have some passions, Michael. I love them. One for each year. He's in a commercial for the Rosetta Stone. That's a language program. It teaches you to speak foreign languages. He looks right in the camera and says he used it. When I learned I was going to Beijing, I thought I better bone up on my Chinese. Bone up on it. Like he's already got it down pretty much. Just needs to just freshen up a little. Just a refresher to get that fluency in Chinese back. Like, when I learned. It is impressive that he can swim so fast with that giant underbite. There's no question about it. Seriously, that's got to create some drag, I would think. He's got to be like a sperm whale feeding on krill as he makes his way through the pool. And he seems like... He's got all these books out. There's a book called Beneath the Surface. Look, Beneath the Surface, what's in there? What makes them tick? Could you imagine reading that book? I like swimming and pillows and smoking weed. He got so over for that weed smoking, I will say that. That was ridiculous. Holy they caught him smoking weed. They treated him like they caught him shooting heroin into the soft spot of a preemie baby's head, you know? Like, I like baby. It's weed. It sends the wrong signal to children. Yeah, it tells kids you could smoke a little weed and still be the greatest swimmer in the history of mankind. It's not going to kill you. I like weed. Although, could you imagine the size of the bong hits Michael Phelps must take? Holy talk about bowl-clearing lung capacity. You do not want to be sharing your weed with Michael Phelps. The Olympics. These Olympics were men's synchronized diving. Men's synchronized diving. Who would choose that as their sport? If you can dive, why would you not just be a diver? What's the added appeal? I like diving, but, you know, I also like so... In a perfect world, there'd be another guy there in a bikini bottom that I could practice with all the time, just to copy and get exactly right. You know, watch on tape all the time. That sport couldn't be any gayer if they held it in Clay Aiken's anus, but... And when did we become such a nation of such self-important, narcissistic douchebags that, you know, when it's your birthday now, you just think you can go to any restaurant and make the waiter sing happy birthday to you? When did that trend start? That's the most irritating... That used to be for children at Chuck E. Cheese. Now you can go to any restaurant. It's my birthday, dance around or something. Give us a little song, would you? Give us a little song. Go get me a piece of cake. It's my birthday. You go to restaurants now, they got to break out in song every 5 minutes. I was in a restaurant the other day, the waiters had to go out 4 separate times to different tables and sing happy birthday, and holy the owner comes out, and even the dishwasher's out there singing, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. It's my birthday too, but no one's singing happy birthday to me, cause I'm in the back washing dishes for 50 cents an hour, but somehow I'm the bad guy for taking away American jobs. What job am I taking away? Who wants to wash a dish for 50 cents an hour? Okay, yes, arguably all of us coming over like this collectively lowers the labor rates in the country. We could debate it on those merits, but no, you're taking my job, you're taking my job, you're taking my job. What kind of ignorant bull is that? You have to ask yourself, are you willing to pay the increased cost of paying a prevailing wage for some slob to stand back there washing dishes? If it's such a problem, why don't you just penalize the employers who hire us? Oh, because that will be politically unpopular. How old are you now? Thank you very much. Good night.